So you're thinking about moving to Reno, Nevada? In this video, we're going to talk about both the pros and the cons of living in Reno to see if it might be a good fit for you and your family. Be sure you stick around to the end because we're going to talk about a couple cons that you probably haven't heard or thought of. Let's get after it right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about Reno and surrounding areas, be sure to tap that notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and hit the like so you can be the first to know about all the latest and greatest about what's going on in Reno and surrounding areas. My name is Scott Durham with Ferrari Land Real Estate. Every day, my team and I help people just like you who are thinking about making a move to the Reno area. So whether you're thinking about making a move anywhere from 9 days to 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send me an email, or simply schedule a Zoom meeting at the link below, and we'll look forward to making your move to Reno a smooth one. Okay, today we're talking about the pros and cons about living in Reno. And the first one I have to mention, bar none, is the reason why many of us are here and have moved from California and moved their businesses from California and elsewhere are the taxes. Nevada has no state income tax, zero. So many people who are living in California, New York, or elsewhere, in fact, most every state has an income tax. Nevada is one of only a handful that don't. It's like giving yourself anywhere from a 7 to 12 or more percent raise just by moving here and not have to pay those state tax. We, of course, still have to pay our federal taxes. We're citizens of the United States. However, zero state income tax whatsoever. There's also many corporate tax benefits, which is one of the reasons why we have so many companies that have moved from California again and elsewhere to our state. We have Tesla, Google, Switch, Amazon, Microsoft has a big presence here. Many companies you have heard of, and even more that you haven't heard of, anywhere from small, medium to large size companies have made their homes here. Retirees also, people on fixed income that just want to quit paying that income tax, that extra income tax unnecessarily to the state of California or elsewhere, have been making their way to Reno because of its incredible tax advantages. This, by and large, is one of the top benefits of living here. Whether you have an enormous amount of money or not, it's always nice to legally pay less taxes if you don't have to, right? So let's go on to the next one. Another major pro of living in Reno is its close proximity to Lake Tahoe. Let's face it, Lake Tahoe is one of the most beautiful places in the entire world, and it's right in our backyard. In fact, depending on what part of Reno you live in, it's anywhere from 20 minutes up to a maximum about 45 minute drive from your house. So many people go up there regularly on the weekends. There's also Mount Rose Ski Resort, which is right nestled in between Reno and Lake Tahoe, which can be 10 minutes to 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops away. So a lot of people run up there right next to Tahoe, go skiing, come back, and have the rest, they'll go early and basically have the rest of the day. So Lake Tahoe is a fabulous place, world-renowned tourist destination, ski resorts, restaurants, boating, outdoor activities, just an incredible place. And we are super grateful and spoiled to have it right here in our backyard. Another major benefit of living in Reno, and this kind of ties in with the first pro, is the cost of living. Now, some of you may laugh at this because yes, has the cost of our real estate gone up significantly over the past few years? Yes, absolutely. You cannot argue with that. However, when you compare it to California and other expensive states, we are still a fraction of the price of what it costs to live in the Bay, anywhere in the Bay Area, Los Angeles, Seattle, many of these other places that are super expensive. In fact, a lot of our clients that we've helped have sold their house in California or elsewhere for a very high price. And they come here, they either pay for their house in cash here, or they put a substantial down payment and keep a small loan. So our average price for a house, a nice house here in Reno, is right at about $600,000 right now. That's of July 2022. So yes, again, it has gotten to be a little bit more expensive, or more than a little bit more expensive. However, when you compare it to California and elsewhere, the prices have just gotten to be absolutely crazy. The cost of living from a real estate perspective still is a significant advantage, particularly to California. Another major advantage of living here in Reno, we alluded to a little bit earlier, is all of the outdoor activities. So right even in the heart of downtown Reno, we have the Truckee River, which goes through Reno and Sparks. It is a beautiful river, goes right through downtown. There's a kayak and whitewater rafting park right downtown there. You'll see lots of hiking and mountain biking options right in Reno and the surrounding hills. Of course, as you go up to Lake Tahoe, that's close by. Even as you go south to Carson City and Minden and Gardnerville down there in the Carson Valley, incredible hiking opportunities. You can hike to the summit of Mount Rose with beautiful waterfalls and trees. There's fishing down at the Truckee River. People fly fish down there. Lots of mountain bike trails also. Lots going on here as far as outdoor activities. Definitely a major plus. Another major plus of living in Reno that goes along with those outdoor activities is that we have 300 days every year on average of sunshine. So there's 365 days a year, at least right around 300 of them, you will have sunshine. Even in those colder winter months, it helps out significantly. You can go outside, get a little bit of vitamin D, get some sunshine, and really enjoy yourself for the most part in the vast majority of the year. Another major plus about living in Reno is our economy. So I've been here since right around 2004. And back when I first got here, our economy was heavily dependent on the casinos, which can be great, or in the case of the financial crisis, not so great. So over the past several years, by and large, because of our close proximity to California and our tax benefits, we have many major companies, lots of tech companies have moved here. We have major distribution warehouses, international companies, nationwide, worldwide companies have made their headquarters or have a significant presence here. So we are hiring jobs. Our economy is robust. We have hiring people, even the entry-level jobs are paying extremely well anymore, compared to the several years ago. We have tech jobs, 6 figures and beyond. Our economy is robust and it really has diversified from being just a small casino town. We have tech, we have lots of things going on, exciting things that have really diversified our economy and benefit everyone as a whole that's living here. Another major plus of living in Reno is that because we're a tourist destination, it seems like there's always some sort of activity or festival going on, whether it be probably the biggest one is Hot August Nights, which happens obviously in August every year, which is a car show. The classic cars line the streets of Reno, and they're all around downtown Reno, the Atlantis Casino, the Grand Sierra Resort. And it's an amazing gathering of people from all over the world who come to show off their cars, and it's super neat. We also have Burning Man, for those of you who might be interested in that, is super close by. We have the rib cook-off. There's the air races every September, right around Labor Day, which they do up at the Stead Airport, just about 10-15 minutes north of downtown Reno. Amazing performances by these the air races, the pilots. They do flips and twists and turns and races, and it's just incredible. Always something going on here in Reno and surrounding areas. Even in Virginia City, we have something called the camel races. Virginia City is only about 20-25 minutes away from downtown Reno, South Reno, and they even have camel races. So there's always something different and exciting and fun going on. In October, the El Dorado puts on the Italian festival, some great mushroom raviolis, a veal parmesan, and all sorts of different Italian foods, and celebrate Italian life. Always something in addition to all the concerts and comedians and whatnot and entertainers that we draw on a regular basis. Another major plus is one of the first things that I noticed when I first moved here back in 2004 is the people. So I came from Southern California, which does have a lot to offer, obviously has a great laid back vibe. That being said, the people here are significantly overall much more friendly than you'll find other places. You'll see that if you bump into them in an elevator, or if you driving down the street, they'll wave at you or say hi. And I just haven't seen that in many of the other parts of the country that I've lived in or been to. So if you like being around friendly people and just seeing people with a smile on their face, Reno is a really neat place to be. Okay, so no place is perfect, right? And I really had to scratch my head a little bit to think, hey, what are some negatives about living in Reno? Because there are a couple of them. One of them being that Reno is a fairly windy place. So This highly, I'll put a caveat there. This highly depends on what part of town you're in. If you go up a little bit further in elevation, it can change it depending on whether you're north, south, west, or east, it can change it. So if that's something that's a major concern, I don't want to say it can be avoided, but it can certainly be mitigated and reduced by choosing what part of Reno that you hang out in. But I will have to say overall, Reno in all 4 seasons at one point or another has an opportunity to be a fairly windy place. So that bothers some people. It doesn't bother some other people. It's not crazy, but however, it is something that oftentimes or on occasion you will have some wind to contend with. Again, can be dealt with depending on, hey, if you want to buy a house or if you're interested in living in an area that doesn't have as much wind, we'd be happy to help you and discuss that with you and discuss with you which areas tend to be more wind prone than others. Oh, before I forget, one more positive, what I would have to say would be our Reno airport. So it is an awesome airport. It's super easy to get in and out of. If you're coming from a larger city, you'll notice that it's a breeze in comparison to LAX or Chicago or one of these major city crazy airports. You can get in and out of there. My wife and I usually show up 45 minutes, maybe an hour before the flight takes off. You zip through TSA pre-check, and you can board the plane relatively easy without having to spend all day at the airport. Reno, believe it or not, actually has a lot of nonstop flights to many major cities and basically all of the major hubs for the different airlines. We can fly nonstop to Las Vegas, to Los Angeles, other parts of Southern California, New York. Even we have a red-eye flight on JetBlue to New York every night. Seattle has some nonstop flights. Denver, Dallas, and others. So it's really kind of accessible to many different cities nonstop. Even from there, you can jump off from one of those hubs and go just about anywhere that you want. So I have to say that's another plus we didn't want to forget to sneak in there to include. Okay, and maybe one other negative to talk about for Reno. Overall, it's a fairly dry climate. So not an enormous amount of rain. We do get some snow in the winter. That will kind of heavily depend on what part of town that you live at. Some parts are lower, like right where the airport is. Yes, you'll probably get snow 4 or 5 times a year. The vast majority of the time, it does not actually stick to the ground. So it'll fall, and immediately as soon as it hits the ground, it'll melt. Or, for the most part, if it does stick to the ground, it'll melt by about lunchtime or so when that sunshine comes out. There's only 2 or 3 times a year, if we get a heavier storm, depending on the year, of course, where we will actually get a significant snow storm that'll stick around for days, a few days, or for any kind of length of time. Now, again, that depends. If you're up in the foothills or leading up towards the mountains, towards Montreux, Arrow Creek, or Somerset, as you go up there off Highway 80, if you're up in the higher elevations, closer to Tahoe and closer to Mount Rose and whatnot, you definitely will see some more snow levels. So we'd be happy to discuss in depth with you if you had any specific questions on elevation, the neighborhood, and how much snow it gets if that's of concern to you. But overall, down at the valley floor, it's really for the most part not a huge issue. And for the most part, again, if it does snow, it either melts right away or it's gone by noon. That being said, it is, back to the Colin, it is a fairly dry place. So depending on what part of town, if you're right in the heart of the valley, unless you're in one of the neighborhoods, which there are several of that are more established with mature landscaping, it can feel a little bit dry and it have a little bit more of that desert feel. Some people like it, some people don't. And again, if you don't like it, there's plenty of neighborhoods that you can go into that are, even if it's right in the valley, that are really established, have lots of nice, beautiful green trees around, or you get up into the foothills a little bit and you're in the pine trees and whatnot. So there's a little bit of something for everybody. Reno itself tends to be a little bit dry, again, depending on exactly where you're at. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed and benefited from this pros and cons video. We appreciate you taking the time to watch it today. If we don't see you around the neighborhood, hopefully we'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much and have a great day.